Hi, Curtis.
Hey, Matt, what's going on?
All right, the question of today is, to what extent should individuals be responsible for addressing the suffering of others?
Individuals should be responsible to do what they can reasonably do without compromising their ability to do what they do. What I mean by that is there's so much suffering in the world. You could easily drive yourself crazy trying to fix everything, or spread yourself so thin if you just give away all your money to everyone who needs it that you are no longer helpful. What you need to do is find out what your contribution to the human race is, and that this is through your occupation, the thing you get up and do every day. Make sure that that's something that's going to help the human race, and go and do that well every day. And whatever with the rest of your time, regenerate, rejuvenate yourself, do whatever you need to do. That's your contribution. That's the main thing. Everything else is just an addendum to that. But having a lifetime of faithfully doing your job well is your contribution to the end of suffering. There's the 1 minute. Okay, so then if I were to expand it, um, yes, there, especially with the internet and how you can see everything that's going on and everyone who's suffering and needs help, you have access to the suffering of 7 billion people and knowing that it exists. It's you could make this argument that why are you going home to a house that has heat in it? Why don't you give all that money to somebody who doesn't? Um, if you start to, I mean, how do you, where does it end there? Um, if everybody did that, though, actually, things would not get better, because the only reason that, for example, with heating, the only reason why the human race can heat all of its houses and stuff is that there's people who stayed and focused on technology and developing systems for heating and building that out. If we want to get everybody in the world to be warm every winter, I don't know why I picked this example of heating, or if we say we want everyone in the world to have clean drinking water, what it takes is people who can focus in on and understand the problem, who can develop technologies and insights and resources into how to clean drinking water. To think it's a huge, complex problem. It's not just the same as, well, I'm going to give this person my money so that they can buy water for a few years. There has to be different groups of the human race specializing in things and doing those things really well. It's, again, everything goes back to the form of the human body. If there's a problem in one of the muscles in the calf, if the liver says, well, if it's running like out of ATP or something, if the liver says, well, I'll just give you all my energy and so you'll be okay, but then there's no liver anymore, the body is going to slowly degrade and die. The way for everything to be healthy is for each organ to do its job to contribute to the health of the whole, because they're all needed. So I really do think the greatest thing you can do for the human race is find a place where you can contribute to something specific in whatever job you're doing. Do that. And there's myriad ways to do it. You can be parenting, you can be selling cars. People need cars. Whatever you're doing, go and do that really well, and then live an honest and moral life. And that's the way, if everyone in the human race did that, everything would be fine. All the suffering would be mitigated. We have the power. It's just people who are not doing that and who are exercising greed and callousness that is leading to the problems that we're having. I have a cousin who is one of those people who has traveled all over the world, and she's like gone to villages. She grew up in the United States, but has like spent tons of time in villages in Africa and helping people. And one time she's just been all over and did all those things. And one time she said to me when we were talking, she said, really the place you can do the most good is the place where you're from, because there you understand the language, you understand the customs, you understand the dynamics there, that's where you're native to. So you really know how to be effective there. And not that some people shouldn't be crossing over and going places where there's an acute need, but in general, the human race, yeah, you should be concerned about suffering. The way to alleviate the suffering is to have a long, diligent life of doing a useful service for the human race and living a moral, sane, uh, not non-indulgent life beyond that. In that be a good person, and that's your part. No single cell is going to save the entire body. Each cell doing what it's supposed to do is what leads to greater health.